See, what I've seen is happening in today's society is that a lot of people feel like you're a leader once you have people reporting to you. And a lot of us utilize our corporate titles or our marital titles to back that belief or proof up. I'm meant to tell you that in the next few minutes of watching this video, you're going to understand that there's like 5 levels to this. And you believing that is probably why you're still stuck at level 2, I'd say. Okay. Most people will probably never understand this because, again, the assumption for most is that everything is superficial and should stay that way. I'm here to tell you that the superficiality you're actually accrediting to what is happening out there is actually an equation of 0.003.95% was actually happening. What that means is your brain can only see, or your eyes, can only see that. And then your brain, to help the situation, only filters what it can predict. So, if you're believing or seeing things based on your eyesight and mindset, you're pretty much missing out on what's actually happening. And in this video, I'm going to make sure that when it comes to leadership, you get to see the full picture. All right, let's dive in. So my name is Macdo, and I'm a consultant. I help men improve their leadership skills, sharpen their voice, and become a better version of themselves. I've written a book that has transformed men's lives in 40 days. The book is called The Man That Refused to Stay Invisible, and it's available on Amazon. But I digress. Let's set pace. Let's start. So level 1 is survival. This is the man that's trying to prove himself. He reacts fast. He needs validation. He's like this vengeance kid looking to be avenged and wants to prove people wrong. And he's building his legacy, but in reality, the legacy is an equation that's equal to his self-worth. So the bigger his legacy is, the bigger his self-worth. So a lot of successful men can sense it. It's ego-driven. Like you want to be the best. You don't necessarily know what that looks like. You just want to be the best, and it's because your brain telling you that right now you're not good enough. When that happens, there's things that happen with it. The ego needs to be fed, so it looks for reasons to be fed indeed. So okay, cool. So if your self-worth is low, what you get charged or fueled by is being right, winning arguments, and being seen as strong. The problem with that is that, especially when you start to surround yourself around people that can sense that or were in that position, it's almost like they see the crackling wall. It's almost like they can sort of see right through it. The way I've just described it to you is because I was there. So when I see it, I can call it out, and so can many others too. And this is why I would say this is level 1 of leadership, because although there's so many successful people that do that, a lot of them are just angry children who haven't processed their anger, and because of that, they use that as fuel to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. The problem with that is that it works well when it comes to you wanting to do things different from most, but when you reach a certain level where that's no longer a requirement, it becomes a leech, and you have to go through stage 2, which is required through ego death for you to get out of that space and recreate yourself into a brand new person, right? But the whole point here is that if insecurity or pain is your foundation is never going to be stable. So at some point, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to get rid of that. Right, so level 2 is where most people, like I said, they start get stuck, because now you have authority, you have the title, and people listen to you because they have to. So you think that because of what you've gone through, now that you're where you're at, respect is earned, right? And whoever doesn't earn your respect should indeed be binned or disregarded or ignored, because hey, if you had to earn yours, why shouldn't they earn theirs? So you can hire, you can fire people, you can decide. And once you remove that title, what happens is you go back to square one or square zero, which means you don't know who you are, and people automatically stop following you. So it's almost like your leadership is attached to your title. It's almost like you're borrowing your leadership according to the title and degrees you've built. The problem is, in this field, this is where the person that's doing this feels like, as long as I provide financially, I'm good. Like, listen, I've worked hard to get here, so you're gonna respect me, woman, right? And the tone is there, he looks the part, and the problem is his nervous system is unstable. Why? Because we've put on a mask over that ego stage one thing we had, and now it's backed by leverage, which is, this is what I'm able to do because of that title, because of the work I do, because of the money I earn, or because of the car I have, because of this, because of that. But in other words, it's borrowed. And the moment the borrowing goes away, the leverage goes away, there's nothing to you. So most people stuck here generally believe that I'm useful until I'm told otherwise. And if you're not useful to me, I have no interest in you. So when you rely on structure to maintain control, the problem with that is that once the structure disappears, so does your control. And that's never a stable place to be in. This is why level 3 leads us to competence, which is where we're getting somewhere. So now you don't just have your title, you also have your skill, right? You've built the ability to think outside the box, solve problems. You're probably doing some self-development at some sort of point. A lot of people that come to me at this level, and this is where develop the skill and you decided to go outside the box in terms of development. I was stuck here for a while. This is where I learned the most, because I started picking up books, I started reading, understanding human behavior, tonality, body language, so that I could go back to my level I was at and secure myself, because I was in a position where I wanted to own my leadership so that no one could take it away from me. And in fact, I grew up being told by my dad that once you build skill, no one can take it away from you. You can take it anywhere and make money because of it, right? So people respect you here because you deliver. But the problem is, the danger here is, if you don't have the emotional intelligence to sustain this identity, so the skill you also build is the emotional intelligence. And a lot of people don't build that, because during stage 1 or 2, emotional intelligence is really, it's almost like a burden on top of everything else. So people just disregard it. And especially when you get here, if you don't have emotional intelligence, you may have skill, but your partner's going to cheat on you. If you don't have emotional intelligence, you may have skill and you may be able to provide and do all these great things because you've done more than most, but you may find yourself in a situation where, because of lack of skill, you're not able to solve the problem how you want to do it. In fact, I'd argue and say, because of lack of emotional intelligence, you now think that every problem needs to be solved, when some problems just require you to listen to them in order for them to be solved. Some arguments or problems require an emotional puke bucket. But that's not going to come up to you if you're just literally thinking threat detection, how do I dodge the bullet, or how do I solve this issue so that it never repeats itself again. No, some situation are literally, okay, here's a bucket, come on. This is the day I had and it was horrible, and okay, tell me more. And then this person pissed me off, okay, tell me more. And then this is, and then you keep going, and okay, cool, I'm done. Anything else? And then you know what, I feel better now, thanks, good. I didn't internalize this, I didn't take it personally, I just put it in the bucket and then flush it off. So the point is, when this happens, you want to get to the level where you're able to contain yourself and able to contain others, and that's a skill you want to develop, right? And number 4, you have stability. This is where you're gonna have, this is where things starts to shift, right? People that go into my 6 week, this is where I aim to get them to, at least, right? This is where you're regulated, right? Your tone doesn't spike under pressure. You're able to be a public speaker like myself. You have the public speaker presence. You don't collapse when you're being questioned or challenged. You don't You're not trying to control rooms or become the most important person that. No, you're actually one of the calmest, right? So you're able to utilize emotions as leverage. So you understand emotional gravity, charisma, and what you're able to naturally see is how this now creates trust amongst people, because you feel safe within yourself, other people feel naturally safe within themselves, because it's almost like a mirror effect, and the stronger frequency always wins. This is why when you're dealing with people that are really negative, unless you've got a stronger frequency that's enough to be stable around them, you immediately feel influenced by their stronger frequency of negativity, or certainly negative, right? This is where respect begins to become automatic across different levers, right? So this is, you could be a billionaire or a multi-millionaire, and you may have a rough month or rough year, and they'll still look at you and think, wait, I respect this guy, this guy's cool. And it's because you've gotten rid of the hierarchy stuff, right? You generally see people where they're at, you shake their hand, you see them with respect. You don't expect them to give you anything whilst you give yourself respect, right? The reason why a lot of people will not get to this level is because you haven't internalized a system. So it's very sporadic. You're just not consistent in understanding how this whole thing works, right? And I'm telling you this because after reading leadership books, relationship books, business books, and you name it, I understood one thing and one thing alone. Once you have systems in place, life gets much easier, because not only outcomes are predictable, but you get to process things much quicker than the person that doesn't have the systems. Level 5, identity leadership. This is my favorite. Okay, this is where it literally it's I don't believe in hierarchy, but this here is where who you are shapes the room, right? I'm talking. I was watching Solo Leveling not too long ago, and Sun Jin Woo, who was I'd say on level 4, met a level 5 leader, which was the general, right? And even he knew that this guy he's a G. He's the most influential man in, I don't think it was Japan, but in their city, or whatever the case is. And it's because it was a combination of it all. It was competence, it was skill, it was system, it was calm leadership, it was boundaries being clear, it was the kindness that came with it. It's almost like the excitement. Because of how stable he is, he could get to be bubbly and childish at the same time, but you also knew that there was a side to him that you did not want to mess with because of how he carried himself. So it's almost like his inner child can come out because he's created an infrastructure around it that protects him from being attacked, right? So this is where you don't need to raise your voice, you don't need to over explain. You're literally like a sensei. Your presence does the heavy lifting. You sit down and people are like, it's him. And what this means in your household is that your partner relaxes around you, right? It means that arguments are not really like, you don't even argue like that anymore. You have disagreements, yes, but the arguments are very practical and systemized, and they don't take longer than they need to. And this one thing's clear is that they definitely don't drag into anything else you're doing. They don't drag into your workplace, they don't drag into your other family, they don't drag into your extended family, they don't drag into your friends. It's literally everything is was well composed, right? And there's just polarity. So you get to be yourself, and whoever's around you gets to feel comfortable enough. After sensing your presence, they even feel honored in being next to you. But then there's something about your familiarity that allows them to feel like they can be themselves without needing to disrespect you. So there's some people that feel that familiarity breeds disrespect. Yeah, when your inner child isn't safe, if there's not an infrastructure, boundaries are not clear, whoever comes around you now, because of your level 5, it's like when I've experienced this, it's almost like you get to see their inner child come out too. And now this is the only safe space that they now have because of how safe you are when they're around you. It's a different level, right? This is what I experienced with my manager at work. His name was Lena. Big shout out to Lena, right? He was by far one of my best mentors because he was so childish, but so driven at the same time, and so kind but stern at the same time, that you couldn't take advantage of him. You just had to trust his lead. There's times where he'd go missing for months on holiday, different holidays, and his office will still be the top office. He's been doing this for 23 years, right? And the fact that his office still held back, it was baffling to me, because it's like, this guy is barely in the office. How's this office performing? And not just performing, but outdoing some of the bigger companies around him. He's not even here. And this is what happens when, as a leader, you're not trying to be intense, you're not trying to be anything, you're just trying to be yourself, but you have the competence, you have the skill, you have the systems in place, you have the emotional intelligence, you have the containment all on lock, which creates this massive aura that it's almost like it works as a clone. When you're not present, people still feel you're present, and because they feel you're present, they have to respect it. And that's the present as a dad. My dad had too, right? Whether I was there or not, I had to respect that what I said to him, whether he was there or not, was going to be upheld. Because if I had not done that, it's almost like I'm betraying myself. Because how is it that this person has made me feel so safe around him? I have access to such familiar aspects to him, yet I'm going to disrespect it by doing what now? No, I can't do that. This is where them respecting you becomes a benefit in their own self-interest. Do you understand what I mean by that? Is that as self-interested as humans are, now being respecting you is part of it. That's true influence. So however, you need to understand that this needs to be clear when there's no structure, i.e. in your household. So if your partner doesn't respect you as much as your team does, then yeah, you're relying on structure. That's the easiest way for you to know that. And not that you'd want your partner's respect, you just need to respect yourself enough to understand that, hey, what's happening here? Is there something that I'm not doing? Is there a word I'm not sticking to? And then you can look at the levels we've gone through and see what's missing here. Is it the fact that I don't have capacity? Is it the fact that my inner child's not safe? Is it the fact that although I should be responsible for my inner child still doesn't feel like he's being catered for? So it doesn't allow me to feel authentic. Have I not dealt with my shadow? We haven't spoke about it in this video, but I spoke about it in different videos, right? I want you to ask yourself this thing, right? If your title disappeared tomorrow, would people still seek your direction? That if your income dropped, would your partner still feel safe with you? If you were challenged publicly, okay, would you be able to stay measured or stay defensive? These answers will reveal where you're at. And if any of these answers lead you to feeling like, yeah, the answer is no, or I'd get defensive, then this is the work I do with leaders. I help them get to that level 5 level, that level 4, 5 level, where they can understand how to own their presence. I'm talking about you having the ability to turn people around because it's now in their self-interest to respect you. I'll give you an example. There's this guy, failed probation. He failed probation and the company was about to kick him out, and they said, listen, this guy's a waste of space. I was like, oh really? I want to work with him. I worked with him. Within a year, became a branch manager, and then they came back to me and said, how did you do it? What's your secret strategy? And I said, it's level 5, man. Once you understand how to systemize level 5, your leadership becomes unstoppable. My wife, it's threatening to most men. And some people come to me and say, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? And I'm like, level 5. Whether I'm there or not, I'm respected. And it's not because I'm asking her to respect me. No. It's because I'm demanding that for myself. First. I don't need anyone to give me anything. If you want to understand how to do that, drop me a message, either on DM me on Instagram, I'm MacDowellOfficial, or I wouldn't say TikTok. You can DM me on TikTok, I'll probably reply there too. But the truth of the matter is this: stop chasing level 3, stop chasing level 2. You already have all the authority you need. Skill, competence, all these things, they come as leverage, but that leverage without the foundation can mean nothing once the foundation goes unstable again. All right, so don't listen to what's going on out there. Mostly, I want you to understand that the key here is understanding how to be present for yourself, so that the foundation is well established. Then you can learn tonality, body language, and all these other things, and how to influence people and all these other things. Yeah, sure, but the foundation must be established first though. If you want to get to level 4 or 5, drop me a message and I'll show you how. Listen, I'm done for today, and I'll see you in the next one.